Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I got my Kate Sith. And just to give you a heads up about my stats, that's how much mag and money I have. I am now level 16. Those are my stats. And here's Hiroko. And I picked up like 5 more Anathemane hives and a few gems. The monsters were really generous with gems. I don't really understand why. When I was trying to recruit Kate Sith twice, they gave me gems. So, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit that fast forward button. Pretend I didn't do that. So, let's return you. Not dismiss, return. Dismiss kicks the demon out of your party. Return puts it back in your comp. So. Now there's a demon you can fuse around here. Like, for example, if you take a Knocker and a High Pixie, you can get an Azumi. Azumis are really good for an upcoming boss, the same boss that the Jack-o'-lantern is good for. So we want to fuse Kate Sith with High Pixie to get Hecate. The reason the Azumi's good is because the next boss we get is uses a lot of ice elemental attacks. So that demon has a skill called Water Wall, which blocks that damage. So it's not strictly required, but it's there. We'll be fine without it. So anyway, we got Hecate. Hecate is useful because she has Torrest and Toraport. Toraport sends you back to the last save point you saved at. And then Torrest does it, like, escapes you to the entrance of a dungeon. So one of them is really useful if you need to go back long distance. The other one is if you just need to go back outside. So this is the only demon that, to my knowledge, that knows both of those spells. And demons that know either spell are really, really rare in this game. So Hecate is really, really, really useful to have for much of the game. So let me check my notes real fast and make sure that we don't need to do anything else. Oh, one other demon that you could possibly recruit around here is the Jack Frost. So I mean, there's nothing else to it. It's just, yeah. Jack Frost is not really that good in this game. And once you're done with your business, you can go up here. But make sure you're done with your business in Valhalla before you come here. And I forgot to do this. It's not that big a deal because I don't have anything really on Hiroko to pass on that's really good. But I could have, like, taken her stuff off and sold it and gotten a little extra money. But, I mean, it's not here nor there. It doesn't really make that big of a difference. You can... She's leaving the party after this scene, so... It's whatever. This is a nice little touch with the water and the bubbles and the water draining and then the glass going up to signify you're in a jar. They could have just said, now that you're out of the jar. They basically did say that, now that you've awakened. Yes. Hawk's true name is Al. If. We can still call him Al, though. If you want. But his name is Aleph. In case you didn't know this, all of the characters in this game that you named, with the exception of Hiroko, they're named after letters in the Hebrew alphabet. So, as an example, Aleph is the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet. It's where they derive the first letter of the Greek alphabet, Alpha. And then it also has links to the full arcana. So there's your Persona link right there. The main character, if he was in a Persona game, would probably have the power of the Fool. The ability to change personas. So, here's an interesting thing that I want to see if any of you can pay attention to. Every one of the Temple Knights recognizes Aleph. Except, I'll let you fill in that. Think about that as we go along. That guy must be in charge because he has the biggest hat. I'm pretty sure that's how Christianity works. I'm pretty sure that's how Catholicism works, actually. I'm sorry. Is that blasphemy? Like, I'm not making fun of God, but I'm making fun of the hats. Like religious hats, is that still considered blasphemy? So bye-bye, Hiroko. Like I said, you can take her equipment off if you want. It's not that big a deal. Like, you won't gain, like, a huge sum of money for doing so. But, like, if you went and got the Cat of Nine Tails, I do recommend you take that off of her. Oh, we have a message from God. Name that movie reference. It's one of my favorite movies of all times. Has the absolute best car chase in any movie I've ever seen. Okay, first of all, it's the Book of Revelation. That is a major pet peeve for me. When people say Book of Revelations, it's Revelation, singular Revelation. The, Revelation... I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop now. Just, it's singular revelation. If somebody says Book of Revelations, laugh at them and call them stupid. He's giving you the edited version of the first game, basically. He doesn't talk about how it's pretty much their fault that the nuclear war happened. And Just completely edited out everything that happened in the first game. Of course, that's what happens in a totalitarian regime, I guess. I mean, you know. Oh, 1 second. 1 second, my phone is going on. Sorry, it's just my mom. She was expecting a phone call. We're going out to eat dinner later. And I was waiting for her to tell me she got off work, and we talked, and I told her where I wanted to go eat. So, that was a brief look into my life. So this is Beth. Remember how I talked about how Hiroko is very clearly designed after Lilith and Yuriko from the first game? Actually, as a interesting note, they actually took design elements from Hiroko and folded them into Yuriko's design and her later appearances. Like, she didn't originally have the mole on her official artwork that Hiroko has. Beth is very clearly, very pointedly supposed to look like the heroine from the first game. So much so that I wonder if she's like a clone of her. So we're just gonna jump right into it. You're the Messiah. Go fix these areas. Okay. So the structure for the next couple of areas of the game is going to be go here and fix these two problems. You have a minor problem and you have a major problem. And the minor problem is the Basilisk, and the major problem is King Frost. Incidentally, there's nobody in Holy Town. Holy Town is a... Like, go save the people of Holy Town. There's nobody there. So, this is Center. I hate this place. I think it's really confusing. But we want to go up to floor 22 first. Oh, also, Beth. Just like Hiroko, Beth kind of comes with her stats in a certain way. To my knowledge, their stats are identical. So, like, if one of them is set up, if one of them gets a... If Hiroko comes into the party as the super magic-oriented version of herself, then Beth will also be the super magic-oriented of herself. But any points, any levels that you gain for Hiroko before Beth joins are not reflected in Beth's levels. So, like, I put the points into strength that I got for Beth, which I think she only got, like, one level up. But Beth, her stuff goes into magic. So, you know. She starts with much better armor than Hiroko did. So it's one of the reasons why I said it's not a big deal that I forgot to switch her stuff over. Her weapon, though, is actually straight up inferior to the Scorpion Whip, though. They're identical except for the Scorpion Whip has a little more hit percentage. Whatever. So we want to go up into this floor and speak to these NPCs here. I'll never understand, like, I read books, I read a lot of fantasy novels, and, you know, a lot of manga and stuff like that, and I always run into this kind of cognitive dissonance where, like, I don't really understand the morals in the story. Like, they're weird, whereas, like, a lot of things happen where it's like, man, that would be a non-issue in our society. And, like, I'm like, it's kind of hard for me to conceive of a world where leaving and going to a neighboring town would get me arrested, you know? I mean, I guess I could kind of see it, like, Hiroko is a soldier, and I can kind of see that she left her post without orders. So I mean, that's kind of understandable, but this room is empty.